Oh boy.
Oh yeah. All
I
right.
haven't seen it yet. It's gonna happen now.
All right.
Nice.
Y'all, welcome to the first Chosen Price group chat. Um, thank you for four people we got today. We got Dan, Deoxys 93, we got Gym Leader Taylor, we got Jonathan of Reds Pika, and Cody from Code Card Jutsu. I appreciate y'all for joining me today to have a little chat.
Yeah, I'm excited.
Thanks for
Yeah.
having me.
Oh yeah, of course, y'all. Obviously, if you've seen this before, you've probably seen these uh these handsome faces and Cody, who still doesn't have a camera. I'm not salty or anything, but
Let me see if I
but
can fix it. You can look at the roof of my truck.
no, you're all good. But yeah, I'm just having some people back. Uh ha- and extended the invite to more, but this is who can make it, and we're just gonna chat. We're gonna chat about the hobby, about yeah, just about the hobby. So I guess just to get right into it, we're sitting in the beginning of June 2024. How do y'all feel about collecting, about Pokemon cards, about the hobby at the moment?
I think it's in an interesting time for sure. I think we're building up to some awesome stuff. I don't know if I'm sure you guys saw the Rocket League stuff.
Oh, I did. I
I
did.
think
Glory,
if
Glory
they
Team
don't
Rocket or
fuck that
something.
up. What's that?
The Glory of Team Rocket. Was that what it's called?
Yeah,
That?
yeah.
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 Oh, nice.
I think if they don't fuck that up and they don't try to put like the Terra stuff in it and it's just like a true throwback set like 151, I think that's gonna be like big.
So you're saying you
Yeah.
don't want them all to have big crystal hats? Is that what I'm hearing?
I mean, the crystal hats are all right, but yeah, no.
Right? Yeah, it's interesting, but yeah, I
Yeah,
don't. It's not necessarily my style, like either. So
Yeah. I'm cool if they parking lot that for this set. If they just go kind of OG with it.
yeah.
I wonder what kind of motifs they're gonna bring back though, you know. I'm actually literally just pulling up the Poke Beach announcement. I wonder if there's any like ideas about it right now. Yeah, Jim Winter's going. I'm reading the chat. Jim Winter's going crazy right now. This is true. This is true.
Eating for sure. Yes.
Yeah, yeah.
It's
yeah. I'd
insane.
like to have I'd like to see like a new another art for a Dark Blastoise and stuff like that come with the new set. I think that'd be really cool. Just kind of to revamp the arts.
Oh yeah.
Mm,
Yeah. Oh,
Yeah.
that'd be sweet. Because
I
yeah, I
love
wonder if it's gonna follow more of like the original
yeah.
rock set,
That
or
that's what
like
I'm hoping.
the
Yeah.
yeah, that'd be really cool. Or like yeah,
My first thought is I don't know if it's gonna go intergenerational because like the dark sets that we've had, the Team Rocket sets we've had only go to um they only go to Gen 2 though, right?
Yeah.
3.
3?
Yeah.
Oh, the
yeah,
X turns was Gen 3.
Gen 3?
Yep.
yeah, because those are the gold stars, right? Was that the
Yeah.
like
Yep.
four set? Yeah.
Oh yeah, Torch. Yeah, you're right. Wait, then wait, with celebrations though, they went with they had the dark and light motif with light toxicity, whatever that
Oh
Pokemon.
That's
yeah,
true,
yeah.
yeah.
That promo.
Yeah.
That
They
is a good
did.
point.
They did bring back those for the promo, but I'm hoping for a little more, in depth than just promos and stuff for this one.
True.
But
Yeah.
It could be a mix. Like I have a feeling that like the more Sword and Shield went on, the more it was just like original Pokemon. And I think that they're always gonna try to like relive up to the hype of the old stuff, but also, the new stuff. I could see like a Dark Caliber being pretty sweet.
ooh,
Something
yeah.
like that. You never
Yeah,
know.
it's an interesting mix too, because I know there's like a lot of kids that are getting into Pokemon and love it too. And so I'm sure they feel that like the appeal to older collectors, but then also like the kids who are in it, like the new Pokemon and stuff. So it's interesting to see how they kind of work that in.
Oh, for sure. Yeah, they definitely have worked in, I don't know. I hope the kids don't like the Terra types, because I've had a few people actually respond to posting about it, and they're like, watch, all the dark types are just going to be dark type Terras. And I'm like, no, no, it can't
Right.
just be for the
That
kids.
would
It's got
ruin
to
the set.
have, yeah, it can't just be for the kids. It's got to be for some of the older collectors too.
Yeah.
I think they know what they have, and you know, like any good drug, they know that they make most of their money on addicts who were born in the '90s and early 2000s. So
On our nostalgia.
they know that we'll give them our money no matter what. But
Yeah.
hopefully, you know, we get at least like a partial throwback to original generations.
Yeah, I
Heck,
think we're the biggest addressable market in terms of like how
Yeah.
much money we put into the hobby. Not gonna lie.
Yeah,
that's
No
true.
doubt.
it's true that kids are getting into it, but like, how much do kids buy? You know, like
Yeah.
their parents get them at most a booster box, whereas we're like, you know,
That's true.
dropping half our life savings on this stuff. So
Yeah. Yeah. Way more. Yeah. And then back in the day, yeah, even I'd be like 1 pack, maybe a week, you know, that my
Right.
parents, all right, you can go and get like this. And it was like, okay, okay.
Yeah. I think we're definitely, I mean, Cody and I talked about this a little bit, but if if they wanted kids to be doing like their main market, those hits would not be 1 in 500, 1 in 1,000 packs, because what kid is opening that many or
True.
something like that?
yeah,
So I agree with John. It's us.
I'm also hopeful. I've been like saying this a lot, but I think once Legends ZA comes out, we're gonna get some sick mega evolution SIR kind of thing to mirror the VMAX alt arts of Sword and Shield that kind of closed out that generation. So
Ooh.
I'm hopeful that we're headed towards some good stuff. And if you also, another thing I keep saying is like, if you compare where we're at right now in Scarlet and Violet with where we were with Sword and Shield, it's still like astronomically better, you know, like Vivid Voltage Battle Styles had 2 good cards, like Sword and Shield base, like that all, you know, I'm sorry if you like those sets, no offense, but like they kind of suck. And some people are hating on the new Scarlet and Violet stuff, but I think they know what they have and that they're building up slowly to the best of
Yeah.
it.
Yeah, and the art and like the new artists and stuff that they're working with, like just brings like I don't know, it just brings so much more. I think some of those, even like the almost like commons and stuff, like the Ghastly and was it Wild Force or whatever that newer one, and like the
Yeah.
game
Yes.
of like even my buddy who isn't really into Pokemon, he was over and he was looking at that Ghastly and he's like, dude, what? And like I ended up giving him one of my CGC 10s I had of it because I was just like, dude, if this will help you start collecting, definitely. Because he's never been into it. He's more of a magic guy and stuff. But he was like, this art, he's like, I need this.
There you
Oh,
go.
flex, man. Just a
Commonly
Pokemon
referred
Rockefeller
to
doing
as
out CDC 10s.
yeah.
Yeah, I'm just giving
If
out
we
gem
become good enough,
mints.
yeah, if we become good enough friends, you guys come over. I'm just saying. No.
That's it. I was eyeing your USPS box. I'm like, dude, what's in the box, man? Just behind you, Taylor.
Oh, that is actually more the pencil boards I got to send out to Beckett.
Ooh.
So
Okay.
just some more. I mean, I'm always looking for new, like there's some cool art in there that I found. So those should be going out tomorrow. So see how those do.
It's like I feel like you got the pencil board game on lock. I don't see anybody else like rocking those and doing it like you do. It's pretty cool. They're unique arts for sure.
Thanks. Yeah, yeah, when I started, there was like a few that were on PWCC, like the pencil boards. And that's how I realized, like, you know, somebody else like graded one before I did, and I saw it, and I was like, all right, I'm gonna have to get like all of those for my collection. And then I just started getting so many that I started selling them as well, because I was like, well, all right, I don't need to hoard all of them either. And it's kind of cool to tap into like a market that isn't really established. Like, so I was like just throwing them on auction and just being like, I don't know, let's see what happens. So I've been trying to keep up with that, you know, at least have one or two every week in my auctions just to, you know, so people have somewhere to get them. And just out of the fun of grading and curiosity of like, you know, what the market is for those even. So yeah, it's been fun. I don't know. I love them.
What is a pencil board? Am I the only person that doesn't know what this is?
Oh, let me go grab one. I'll show you.
Okay.
You're gonna learn
Honestly, man,
today.
I never knew what I assume just by the name, like I guess you could use them to like as like a hard surface to like maybe stencil or like just
Whoa.
use as a backdrop. Oh, that's pretty. What is
Ooh,
that
that
one?
one's crazy.
The Arceus?
Is it just
Yeah.
a custom illustration?
So it's like official. I'm not sure. Some of them are like a Rita. There's a, I don't know who did this one, but like the back is just clear. It's kind of like a see-through.
Wow, that is sick.
Yeah, but I mean the art is
Giant slab.
that like yeah, the art is so good that I was like I have to, because I was displaying them without these. Then I found you could grade them, and I was like that just adds like I don't know whatever that is to the collector in me. That's like I need to grade them and display all of them. So
Wow.
Oh
I'm still
yeah.
scared to send anything in for grading.
really, oh
I've
no,
never done it. Any card I think maybe this could be worth it. I find a flaw with it. Like I have my first pull back into collecting was the Machamp alt art, and I thought that could maybe be a 10. And I literally just made a little video of it before we got on, and I saw in the back there's a tiny little indent in the back.
dang,
So
you never know. It's good to be
now it's
somewhat
like,
of a
why?
perfectionist, though. If you want to grade, sometimes that that's good for you because you'll see all those flaws before you send them in.
Yeah.
Also, I think, sorry if I interrupted you, John, but like I think you were saying some like the pencil boards. I think what you're saying, yeah, it was right. Like they're like a hard surface where like in school and stuff, you could put like paper on them and
Yeah.
yeah, like drawing them. And I think that's incredible that like Japanese students, you could walk around and just flex all your like cool Pokemon boards
Yeah.
while you're in school and stuff. So that's super cool part of it too.
It's a trip, dude, because I remember seeing them like at in hobby shops when I was small. And dude, I think they had, I mean, you keep me honest. I think they had those pencil boards like when I saw a lot of them done by who's it? Kagamaru Himeno. Himeno does a lot of the postcards, like the vintage postcards and stuff. I
Yeah.
saw a lot of those. I just didn't know you can get them graded. And it looks like they kept up with it over time. Like there's obviously updated illustrations and all that stuff.
Yeah.
I feel like some of them are also just like unique to just like the pencil board medium or like some other type of like stencil, like basically non TCG illustrations, right? And that's the only way you can cop those illustrations somehow. It's like through that type of medium.
Yeah, yeah, totally. I know some of the big postcard collectors like reached out to me and they were like, "Are you gonna get into postcards?" Because I got more into the pencil boards, and they got me hooked. So yes, now I am collecting those as well.
Postcards.
The
But
postcard art is fantastic.
Yeah.
right, yeah, like
There's so many good ones.
so many, and like a lot of those, they were telling me actually were like that unique art before they put them on the pencil board. So some of the postcards, like they just blew the art up into the pencil board after the postcard was released. So yeah, there's tons of hidden gems in the postcard like world too. So
Yeah.
And I was at a dead spot here. I was trying to explain, but it wouldn't let me go through. The pencil boards, they are for that. What they're for in between your sheets of paper in your notebook. You put it underneath the paper that you're writing on in your notebook, so it doesn't leave an imprint on the next page.
Oh, in the notebook. Okay, okay.
Yeah, so
cool.
that's what those are for.
Nice. Thanks for clarifying that, man. I was always like curious, yeah, like what it was 100%.
Mm-hmm.
And
But
where do
they're
you
so cool. I love the art on them. And I think that
Oh,
a large majority of them were Harada and Arita arts. So
yeah.
if not pretty much all of them.
Nice. Yeah. That's like what I've
Nice.
seen too. So,
Oh yeah. And a lot of those postcards, I think most of the postcard exposure I get is from what's his name? Nostalgia Provider. Also by
Yes.
I think Nayo Kamura. I feel like I see a lot by Nayo Kamura, the Southern Islands artist, and those are all incredible. Oh my gosh. I don't
yeah.
know why it's so hard for me to like branch out of like the TCG. I mean, I guess I've got the guides, but it's so hard for me to pull the trigger on something like that, even though they're incredible.
Don't start.
Yeah.
Don't start. Yeah, okay.
Dude, the postcards are like a whole like rabbit hole too. Because like there are ones that
Oh
No
are
yeah.
way.
commonly available, but there's other ones that are like I don't know who did the Adventures of like PPP or something. Some of them are like really obscure, like super esoteric, and they're like they go for like hundreds of dollars sometimes. At least I see the ones that go out and bidding. It gets pretty crazy, I think.
Yeah, yeah. I have some of the. It's Yumi. Oh, I can't think of like
Yeah.
the last name, but Yumi Su. I can't think. But some of them were like more rare than others, and I don't own a couple of those, but I've seen some of those that are like, I think they're like 4 grand for like one of the phone cards and stuff, and like
Wow.
super rare, and like the niche collectors who are looking for them usually know like,
Yeah.
oh nice, they usually know like what they're looking at. So you get like two people who are like, this is super rare, and they just go back and forth in a bidding war. I'll just watch
Mhm.
until like I'm out of this one, but
Yeah. Oh yeah.
yeah, it's cool.
Nice. Yeah, so I guess kind of just for all of you again, obviously there's a lot of good parts to collecting, but there's a lot of hard parts as well. Have you guys faced any like pretty big challenges in collecting, whether it be completing a goal or just, or otherwise?
I think just everything. There's
Everything.
there's so much, like, I think a lot of people have been posting about how there's just the sets are coming out faster than ever, and there's so much, not, I don't want to say pressure, but there's so much like desire to just get everything, and like the slogan is literally to catch them all, but I'm pretty sure that was designed like purposefully to be impossible at this point. When there was 3 sets out, it was like, it was no big deal. Like Jungle, you could rip 3 boxes and complete the set, but it's
Mm.
just there's constant noise, and like now you have all these like investor channels that, like, I gotta limit who I watch. I can only watch like 1 or 2 of these people, because the more you watch, everyone's like, you buy this, no, buy it now, we got to buy these sets, and like this is the next thing that's gonna, there's a lot of pressure to stay on top of what's coming out as it's coming out, but then there's also this like trying to make money on it in the long term thing, where it's like, now I'm trying to think 2 to 4 sets back. Like I try to just pick things up as they're starting to get older and dip down, and there's this like awareness of when things are at their lowest that I think, you know something you want to get on top of, so it's just so crowded.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
That being said, though, I do think that this is probably currently the best time to buy as a collector, because everything's going really cheap. It's not a great time to sell.
Are you talking about like things like obviously the Moonbrion's at $1,500. Nobody's buying that. But so you're talking like vintage, I'm guessing, Cody?
Oh
Or
yeah,
like
yeah, vintage.
anything that's
I
not
mean, the
being
trophy
pumped?
cards, but all the promos, like, they're just everything's all the stuff that was extremely valuable 3 years ago is going for a quarter of what it was 3 years ago right now.
Oh
Interesting.
wow.
Yeah, and that's why, like, I mean, it's just always so true. Like, if you just collect what you love, like, otherwise, I've found, like, personally, like, trying to keep up with everything is almost just like, it like burns me out, where I'm just like,
Mm.
I'm just gonna focus on like things that I like and not really care. I understand people, if they want, they're like more into markets and stuff, and maybe it doesn't burn them out. But for me personally, if I just sit and worry about the market constantly, I forget like why I truly am collecting some of the things I do, because I just see like a dollar sign. I'm like, wait, I actually like this. I don't even want to sell this, sometimes. So
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yo, shout
just
out
for
to this guy Koga Collectibles. I think he I saw something on his story that reminded me of what you guys were saying, which was what was it? It was like a litmus test behind like buying something as a collector. It's like, do I want this, or do I want people to know that I have this? Something to that effect, right? And that's sometimes it's kind of hard to distinguish, like truthfully, if you actually really ask yourself and take a step back, like which one is it? And I totally agree with you guys, man. It's just especially right now, I think like Japanese is kind of down, and like the English, at least the English sword and shield sets are like kind of up in terms of like value and resale and all that stuff. And just I remember just like a year or so ago, like everybody was crazy after, you know, all the Japanese waifus and stuff like that. And yeah, I think if you go with sort of the zeitgeist of the moment and what folks are telling you to collect and what's hot, it's like you're never going to be satisfied because there's always going to be something else. And it's always that sense of FOMO and like kind of chasing behind another passing wind. It's just I agree, you just gotta collect what you like. You find your niche or like find your style and kind of probably stick with it. That's
Yeah.
probably the best general approach, I
Yeah.
guess.
Yeah, solid
All right,
advice.
hey, I'm at my job really quick here. I'm gonna take care of this guy, and I'm gonna leave this on, and I'm gonna try to get back with you guys. Hopefully, it'll be a really quick one. So, all
Oh, okay.
Dude, sounds great.
Maybe-
right, all right,
Sounds good,
later.
man.
But
But
yeah, I'm glad you brought that up, Jonathan. I'm trying to like I would at this point in time, like I just picked up the Gengar VMAX alt art, but because it's it's like too far gone at this point. But other than that, I'm not, you know, that's what basically what I was trying to say is that anything that's trending up, I'm not going to touch. But Scarlet and Violet SARs in Japanese, I honestly can't believe how down they are right now. And like they're printed so much better than English. And it seems harder to pull them because they consider a full art a secret rare in a box. So I don't
Mhm.
understand how that works, but yeah, like that's the kind of stuff I would pick up right now.
yeah.
You telling me you don't only collect Deoxys speed form? That'd be
I just got that one actually.
that was so sick. Emerald, right? Wait, is that Emerald or Deoxys? Emerald. No. Deoxys. I forgot what set that was. The speed form one. EX?
Oh, I
think
don't
it-
have many vintage GXs. I meant Crown Zenith.
Oh, Crown. Okay, okay. That one's sick too.
Yeah, it was
They're all-
like $8.
you can't go wrong Deoxys, man.
No,
Deoxys. Yeah.
it is my username literally because my name is Dan and the first letter is D. That is it. It's not my favorite Pokemon.
I thought like you had a thing for the
Incredible.
speed form.
Yeah,
Deoxys
I
for
could
some-
see why people would think that, but it's no. I was like, what's the name going to be? And it was between Deoxys and Rocket Grunt Dan, and someone else has that name now. So I'm glad that I went with this.
Nice.
That's great. Yeah, I think honestly, I gotta say this. You said the thing about the sets coming out faster and faster. The sets have been coming out the same speed since EX, since the EX series. People always say that, and I'm like, they've been coming out the same pace. But there's just I feel like before though, we didn't have the advertisement. We didn't have the Instagram where we're getting leaks like 6 months ahead of this set dropping.
Maybe that's
So
what it is.
I think that's it because it feels like we're set after set after set, but Pokemon has been every 3 months since EX, I believe.
That's true. But the sets have not been nearly as big.
That's true. That's also a big factor. Huge.
Yeah. I just single out a few. If I like the art, I'm like, I'm gonna take these four, and I'll just buy like singles. Usually is like my thing, because I like the art. Maybe I'll get like 4 or 5 of them, grade them, and then keep one and sell the rest or something. That's kind of just like what I do, though. I know a lot of people like to rip packs and boxes, which is super cool. But me personally, I just am like, if there's a set like that doesn't even have anything that speaks to me, I'm like, I'll just skip this one. And who
Yeah.
knows, maybe 10 years from now, I'll be like, actually, I missed out on that. And then I'll end up buying them again. So,
Yeah,
Oh yeah.
the way I approach it has honestly changed so much because of the content that I make. Like,
oh,
you
nice.
know how it is when you first get back into it. Like, you just want to rip packs and pull it, and then you kind of realize that it's not worth it, and you just start getting the cards that you want. But then it's like you start making content and videos, and half of that is like opening packs, participating in release day of a set. So like this last one, I like Twilight Masquerade, I wasn't that excited for, but like I want to make videos of myself ripping it for release day and stuff like that. So
Yeah, that makes sense.
I'll do like one box per set unless I'm super hype on it.
Nice.
I
Well,
don't
and
know.
Instagram, like I've even noticed because, I post a lot of vintage stuff and also like the BGS, like clear cards and pencil boards and stuff. They aren't as like known and they definitely don't get as many like likes and views. And I noticed when I post like a new card, I mean, it was like 3,000 likes and I normally get like 300. And I was like, what the heck? So I'm sure there's definitely like an algorithm bias thing too, that, you know, if you want to grow like your channel or whatever you're doing, it definitely helps having like, you know, like you said, like ripping packs or more modern stuff or whatever that is, you know.
Yeah. And it is fun to just like, when I first got back into it, I was so much more into vintage and the stuff that I had when I was a kid, but it is just fun to be a part of what's happening now. You know what I mean? Like it's fun to just pass by a store and see that they have a booster box and pick up a couple packs, and
Oh,
so it's not just being a whore for views, it's also like, you know, it's
there's
just
no
fun.
shame. No shame. No.
No
Oh,
shame.
no.
But dude, no, for real. That yeah, that it sounds awesome.
Yeah, so Dan, I actually wanted to ask you about that. So is it your and you kind of partially answered what I was going to ask. So is it your content, I feel, that kind of keeps you with modern more so than vintage? Because or what is it that keeps you going back to modern, I suppose, as opposed to, digging back into vintage a little more?
Yeah, I mean it's a lot to do with it. It's just like there's so
Mm.
much of the hype around that, and it's so much more accessible. And I got a little turned off to vintage just because when I first started collecting, like I keep saying, I was picking up cards that I had as a kid, but I didn't have the eye for checking the pictures on eBay and the listings. So I had a bunch of stuff that I wasn't happy with the condition of.
Mhm.
So I kind of decided I'm not going to get anything vintage unless it's in a high grade. And then, money is an issue with that. Like you want to spend $20, what are you going to get? Like in a
Yeah.
in a serious vintage high grade, like nothing. So yeah, I definitely kind of switched to modern because of the content.
No, Taylor can hook you up with the CGC
Fun.
10.
And what was that?
Taylor can hook you up with the CGC 10s, man.
Yeah,
Oh yeah.
just yeah, you just pick out the art you like. I'm handing them out today.
Okay, great. Yeah, I'll send you my
I'm
address.
playing, man. I'm just kidding.
Oh, I saw
Um,
the Split Earth Gyarados on your story. Yeah, I think I could get one of those. No.
yeah.
Dude, I was so happy to see. I was like on vacation this last week or whatever, and I got that email for like the upcharges and stuff, and I was like, God, it just doesn't get better than this.
Upcharge email, baby.
Yo. Yo.
I'm sorry, Dan.
Um,
I think I cut you
yeah.
off there.
Oh no, you're good. It's a mutual conversation. But yeah, just to conclude, I guess it is the content stuff, and it's just fun to be a part of what's happening now. I'm also a big music guy, and like as fun as it is to like music that happened in like the 60s, 70s, 80s, 90s, like it's so much more rewarding to be part of like a legacy that's unfolding as we're living through it.
Nice. That's cool. I like that view. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
And I just like that it takes up the full thing, like nothing against vintage, like you can't knock it, but I do feel like at least for me it's more about the nostalgia and the memories of when I was a kid. Like I have friends, like I have next to me like a 6'1" bookshelf with like 100 cards on it, and I have friends who come into my room and they're like, man, the new ones are so much better. And
Oh dang.
and there's like I have a base set Charizard, and then I
Yeah.
have Mewtwo from Crown Zenith, and they're looking at Mewtwo like they're like, oh, it's cool that you got that because we were kids when that was a big deal. But
Yeah.
like they're talking about the Mewtwo from Crown Zenith. They don't really care that much about the base set Charizard.
Oh, that's so interesting. That's really
Yeah.
cool.
And like the texture,
Oh yeah, yeah.
everyone's obsessed with the texture.
I'm a texture fiend. I can't deny the good texture gets me.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Swirl of texture.
My neighbors always see me just wandering outside, like moving cars, pictures and stuff. They're always probably just watching, like, what is he doing? I'm out in the bushes, like, trying to get pictures in the flowers and stuff.
I get so many looks. Like I'm in New York City and I open packs on the New York City subway line, like with a GoPro on my chest. And during the winter, I can like kind of hide it with my jacket, but I just did it for Twilight Masquerade and it was hot. And like everyone could see this big like chest mount thing, and I'm walking through like this, and so many people are like
Nice.
staring. And New York City, though, it's hard to be the weirdest person around.
I was
Yeah.
literally just gonna say, man.
Yeah,
I
no.
live in Boston, and I feel like, dude, New York is it's a whole different animal.
Oh
For
yeah.
sure. But New York, it's good though. Like I feel like people are endearing in their own
Oh
way.
no, it's great. No one's like had a problem with it, but you know, you definitely get looks like, what the fuck is this guy's problem?
Nice. That's how you know something right.
That's funny. So as a seller, mostly, Taylor, do you ever feel like, and I feel like you might not be the person to ask because you really do have a niche with like the pencil boards and stuff like that, but do you ever feel like there's too many sellers in the space?
Uh, Man, I don't think so. I mean, I get a lot of messages where like people are always like, "Oh, competition," or like "You're the competition," and stuff, and I'm like, I mean, that's great, I guess, if people see me as that, like, because it keeps everyone, I guess, on their toes. But at the end of the day, it's like it's just more money in the hobby and keeps the hobby healthy. And like, I think as long as they're good sellers, like, I mean,
Hmm.
obviously you can't always have all good sellers or whatever. There's gonna be the people that, want to scam and whatever. And, we'll figure it out eventually, anyways. As a community, we're always kind of like, dude, yeah, whoever this is isn't doing it right. But um, personally, to me, I like it. I like seeing people make like big sales, and I think it's pretty cool. And if you do have, a lot of money in your collection, that can help you feel a lot better too. Sometimes, there's a lot of people maybe selling the cards that you won't sell, and it gives you a good idea of the market too. So sometimes it's like, yeah, I personally enjoy it, and not that I'm not like jealous. There's definitely some people who like I see their collection and stuff, and I'm like, what the heck? But I always try to flip it in the positive way and just be like, use that as like good motivation or whatever it is. So I don't know. Yeah,
Nice.
I try to anyway, and try not to be like jealous and like angry somebody got like a super cool card.
Are you talking about, Taylor, you like having other sellers and never see it, the space is too crowded, as long as the seller is good. Have you ever dealt with like a bad seller yourself? I'm sure you do a lot of buying and selling. Have you ever been scammed?
Oh man, yeah, multiple times. I've made a lot of different parameters for myself, like over the years. It's just been a learning experience. I mean, because luckily, a lot of the times, with some of the bigger purchases, I'll have like insurance and stuff on them, and so I've been able to get my money back. But I've been scammed on like a no rarity Charizard that was 2 grand, and they sent me a beat up normal, Charizard that's worth, I don't know, $30. Um, and then I've had the like bait and switch thing where they show you a bunch of nice, super nice, like full art cards. I think it was like BW, it was like a Plasma Gale Lugia and Articuno and stuff. And I got those cards, but they weren't the necessarily the same cards because these were in the pictures, they were like brand new. And then the ones I got were completely destroyed, like bent in half. And that one, I actually wasn't able to get my money back. So I just cried a little bit and then I sold them for, it like a good deal. I was just like, if anyone wants these cards, for the binder or whatever, like just cut my losses. So I've definitely dealt with multiple scammers, but I will say for how much I buy, there's way more like genuine great sellers out there than, that I ever deal with than the random scam that will come through, I don't know, once every 5 months or something. Even when I
Right.
had less parameters, when I was just like, I'll buy anything from anyone. So yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. It does happen though. It's one of those things, so I I guess the more I've gone into it, trust like know who the person is, if it's on IG or it's a store or whatever, and then you can feel better about I know what I'm gonna get, and I don't know, like reach out to people. That's why I love the community. Reach out and be like, has anyone ever bought from this person? Or do if this store is like when they say it's near mint, is it? Or,
Hmm.
whatever you're looking for. So there's tons of help, which is really nice too.
Nice. Yeah. Yeah. Honestly, I had not, for like, until recently, started buying on Instagram, but I've been loving most like Instagram sellers that I bought from recently. Have y'all have y'all been, do you like to do like Instagram deals, stuff like that?
They're the best. I could give you like 5 names right now from awesome
Oh,
people who are like, I don't know how they make money on it because they will offer cards for like a couple bucks under the TCG player value, and there's no tax. They'll charge you $1 for shipping, and they pack it up like a bomb, and it's great.
Oh
Nice.
yeah.
Doing that more than ever.
Oh nice. Big
What's
community
TCG
buyer.
player commission? Honestly, I never saw them TCG player. What do they take? What's their take? It's like eBay.
I think it's 8%. I think it's 8%.
That's a lot better than eBay. It's like 13.
Yeah, eBay kills you.
Mercari is horrible actually right now. If you ever use that app, that's where I got the Gengar VMAX alt art. I got one with a tiny ding in the back. So a guy agreed to give me it for 220, which was like awesome. But then after the Mercari fees, it was 280, which is like
Yeah.
ridiculous.
They switch it to buyer fees now.
Yeah.
And I asked him, I went to ask him if he had it listed anywhere else or if he had Instagram, and they removed my comment from the app because it got like flagged for like trying to take business outside of the app, which I didn't even know was a thing.
That's wild.
Yeah, I
So-
haven't been on Mercari in a long time, but I remember them doing that too, and so I kind of tapped out on that. And
Brutal.
All I know is I've heard I've never used Macari. Actually, no, I've sold some stuff like earlier on. I think just around the pandemic, just because I was just giving a couple of platforms a try. But I've heard some like wild stories on Macari in terms of like just fines, because I think people like just listed stuff. And I don't know if like the search engine or algorithm was as like complete as like eBay, because like eBay will tease out like syntax errors or like listing errors and like still somehow like triangulate was this what you were trying to say, or like if was this something you were trying to find. But I've heard like wild come up stories on people finding crazy things on Mercari on the low. I
Yeah.
don't know if that's still true now, but
It's a weird place. eBay is the biggest one for me now, other than Instagram. But I got a card for free on Mercari, and I still don't understand how. The Maridon SIR from Scarlet and Violet base. I went to buy it from a guy, and I bought it. He wasn't answering, and I asked for a refund like 4 days later because nothing happened. It wasn't sent out. I got the refund. He's still not answering. So I was like, what's the scam? I don't understand what this guy's trying to do. And then I got the card in the mail 3 weeks later. Really bizarre.
Oh,
Oh, it's a weird
yeah.
thing.
you take those.
Yeah, we take those. Wait, yeah. So John, are you saying they don't really help like assist you with your search? So if you typed in like something super specific and that was like the only one that someone had listed, or like if I wanted like an old Pokemon promo and I said vintage Pokemon promos, it wouldn't bring up like a very niche one or something.
Yeah, I think, well, you know how like on eBay, I think if you type in something, they'll like streamline your results, or they'll say like, did you mean
Okay.
XYZ?
Yeah.
And I think part of like so I haven't seen it myself. I just hear like uh friends in my group that used to, I think, come up with like crazy deals on like Skyridge or e-reader stuff. And I just I think the system wasn't as good as like at picking up like some of the nuances. Or maybe it was like user error where people weren't as like apt in being able to like list things accurately or whatever. So
Mm.
again, I'm not sure if that's still the case with the car anymore. I don't think so, just because I feel like the Pokemon market is pretty well understood and defined now, because you know everyone and their mom is aware, I think, of what this cardboard is like now. So but yeah, man. I do like, to the original point though, I think Instagram is still ideal. Just in terms of just like trading or selling and buying. If you have like a good network, I think it definitely beats, you know, paying top dollar or like a buyer's premium on like PWCC or something like that. Like obviously if you have to, obviously go to the, you know, not no shade towards like obviously any of the big platforms, because if you want something and you gotta find something, you gotta do it. But if you can, I mean, stay within your network. I think it's a win-win.
I
Sure.
have a follow-up question to that. Is that okay, Colin?
Yeah, of course, of course.
So like I said I'm big on Instagram purchases, but like I don't really get anything too expensive. But I did kind of like I got the Moonbreon in December when it was at a low point, and I did actually prefer to go through eBay on that because of the whole authenticity guarantee thing. And I know that like I don't know if you know Rattle Pokemon, but he makes a lot of like videos about bad stuff. So like he posted one video about like it was actually the same card of Moonbreon showed up like bent in half and stuff. But it wasn't graded, and I still think that like if anything were to happen, a huge place like eBay would have my back. Whereas like I was originally asking around on Instagram for the Moonbreon, but then I thought like maybe just go through a big place and pay like $40 in tax just to have like the security.
Mhm.
So
Yeah.
I
I
was
have a lot.
sorry, I was just wondering like when you guys make big purchases, do you go through like individuals or would you agree with that? Like going through a big store?
Well, like personally, I have a lot of people like because I do weekly auctions on my
Okay.
eBay, and I have a lot of people who do actually prefer that as well. They're like, I don't know, maybe they just don't trust like PayPal or whatever, and they would rather take their chance bidding on it, because I'll be like, oh, I have this card for sale. And sometimes they'd rather take their chance bidding on it, which, I always tell them like, hey, I hope you get it for a better deal than we could even negotiate, and like, but then they do have that like authenticity guarantee that some people like, where they're like, they know it's going to go through and they're going to get it and everything. And, it's usually for people who are like, uh, I haven't really talked to a lot on IG and stuff. And usually after a couple times, then they're like, oh, okay, I know you're actually going to send me the card and it isn't some, like fake one or whatever it is. But yeah, I totally get that too, where I've bought some cards off PWCC and eBay before too, where I was just like, it was up for bid and I would rather just do that at the time, I guess. It wasn't as much I was like worried about someone on Instagram scamming me or something. It was just kind of like convenience of it being there and I couldn't wait apparently. So I had to just bid
Yeah.
and buy
Yeah.
it.
And it's also just like the main thing that I would be concerned about is getting lost or damaged in transit. You
Mhm.
know, like there could be someone like I could get from one of my super trustworthy Instagram sellers and like it could get lost. Or I actually did send unfortunately, two Team Rocket slabs to one of my sellers and he never got it. And that was it. That was the end of it. Whereas like eBay, when they do the authenticity thing, I record myself opening it. So like if anything's wrong, at least there's some kind of process to or someone to complain to who could theoretically get a refund.
Oh, for
Yeah.
sure.
Even if the person is trustworthy, like you're still kind of in nowhere, like no man's land
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
if something happens.
Yeah, I was not very cautious. My biggest card that I ever bought was like not beat up, but it was a rough Zard Gold Star, and I just saw it on Facebook Marketplace, and I was like, yeah, buy now. And this is when I first started collecting. I never even saw eBay as an option, honestly. I almost never buy cards from eBay, but that's just me personally. Maybe it's because I've never gotten something lost in the mail, knock on wood, and hopefully that doesn't happen. But I think if I ever did, I'd probably stick to stuff like eBay.
Oh,
Yeah.
when did you pick up the Gold Star Zard?
When
Yeah.
it was like early 22, maybe late 21.
Gotcha.
And
Yeah.
what did you say was the outcome of that? You got it, or there was problems?
Oh no, I got it. It was great.
Okay.
It ended up working out great. But I think, there's definitely could have been more due diligence for sure.
Yeah.
They see the address. They know not to mess with Colin. That's chosen price right there.
Yeah, yeah.
They were
They
going
knew.
to. Yeah.
They're like,
We all
oh
gotta
shoot.
like, pay our dues when we first get into collecting. Like there's a big learning curve to this stuff. I have a friend who just got back into it. Like my girlfriend's best friend from home in Miami is now like I'm chilling with on my own. He came into my room and he saw my stuff, literally bought my 151 ETB off my shelf just for the same price that I paid for it and was just like, yo, I'm in this now. And I can just see him going through the like, he only wanted to rip packs. And now he's kind of like, all right, well, I spent too much money on that and I don't have that much to show for it. So now he's picking up singles. And now I'm trying to tell him, like, look at the pictures because all the illustration rares have those crazy print lines. And he's like, no, it said near mint. What do you mean? And I'm like, oh, he's gonna find out. So
Yeah.
we all kind of have to pay our dues, like getting back into the hobby, getting
Gotta cut your
getting
teeth,
the
man.
eye. Sorry, what was that?
I was gonna say, I completely agree. You gotta cut your teeth somewhere. You know?
Yep.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I get a lot of people just because I grade so much. Like, how do you know if it's a 10? And I was like, I don't know, because I've stared at these pictures for 9 hours every day for years now. Like, it really just comes with like practice and like, yeah, knowing what you're looking for and all that stuff. So it's definitely a process.
Do you use the grading toolkits like the magnifying glass and the centering tool?
I honestly don't.
Okay.
Maybe it feels like BGS. I don't grade a lot of like cards with them. It's just like the pencil boards and stuff. But
Okay.
for the most, I just eyeball it and hope for the best.
Yeah.
Hey, is my mic working, guys?
Yep.
Oh, you're back. You're back.
Okay. Hey, I'm back. Have I ever told you? I may have told you going back to the Gold Star thing. I may have told you, but I don't know if I have or not. But I ever tell you about the Gold Star mud kit?
No.
Okay,
What
so
happened?
going back to the scam section you guys were talking about a second ago, my mic wasn't picking up. So I bought one from Bai, and it was written in the title that it was mint. The pictures looked great. Everything was fantastic. I paid $1,300 for it, plus whatever the shipping and all that ended up being. Sent it off to Beckett, and they
Oh no.
Right at the good part.
I
Damn.
know.
What a tease, man.
saying that it was a fake card, and I was like, "There's absolutely no way this card." It got it back. So I was like, "Okay, well, let's say same thing. Got it back as a fake." And I got to looking at the card, and I killed it, and it was the same thing as the whole Logan Paul thing. I peeled a sticker off of this card, and completely heartbroken. And Bai did absolutely nothing to cover that. They wouldn't give me any sort of refund whatsoever. And yeah, so I got trapped with a $1,300 loss.
That's
Man.
heartbreaking.
Yeah.
And that was that was brutal. So getting back to what it was all about in the beginning is that now with any kind of purchase like that, I pretty much just go through eBay.
Yeah.
I feel a lot safer buying stuff like that through eBay.
Dude, I got something for you guys. I want to go grab it real quick, but this is like some heartbreaking stuff here too.
Okay.
I'll be right back.
We're gonna talk shit
Oh,
about
man.
it, right?
Dude, you got it from
Oh, yeah,
Bai.
yeah.
Like, that's crazy. Like, I feel like I would have confidence going through, you know, Bai.
Yeah.
See, that's where I think that's where my confidence cratered a little bit when I realized Japanese resellers or sellers were like scamming. Because I usually hold like the Japanese population a very high ethical standard. And then when there was like reports come out, like you said, Dan, like with Rattle and all the different stuff, I was like, damn, you really can't trust anybody out here anymore. That's crazy.
I felt the same way. Yeah, I was like, Japanese, they would never scam me.
No, they couldn't.
Seriously, for so long. Yeah,
Yeah.
but people to people, it happens. All right, you guys, I gotta show you. Okay, so I bought this from Bai. This was actually their fault though. Okay, if you can see it, but it's like the not awake birthday
I love that
Pikachu.
Pikachu,
Oh
yeah.
no.
Almost guaranteed it would have got a 10 too. I mean, it was like perfect centering and everything, and they packed it at the very bottom, and it is like bent in half pretty much.
Cody
like
does
Cody's
not
crying.
like that.
I think he's crying.
He's very upset by this not awake
I think
Pikachu.
it's malfunctioning.
But dude, and I've been trying to grade this card in a 10 for so long, and it came and it was at the very bottom. And I even did like all the protective like packaging and everything,
Yep.
and it was just the weight of it like crushed it. And
Oh, man.
luckily, like I sent them all the documentation, the pictures. I was like, the outer box is good. it was the way it was packed, and I did get a refund, but still, it's like it doesn't make up for this potentially getting that 10. I was like, oh, that was a tough day. That
Ooh.
was
What's the population on ones for that card? Is it worth it?
On
yeah, pop one.
ones.
Pop one, dude. Pop
I
one
mean,
or bust.
I kind of
PR PSA
maybe
one.
maybe Beckett will grade it taped to the cardboard still. And I could
Bro, just sign
On
it. It'll be
memorial.
authenticated Jim Bleeder Taylor. Sick.
yeah, I like
There you
that. All
go.
right. Yeah, I'll do that.
That is heartbreaking.
I just wanted to share that because yeah, that was like maybe a month or two ago, but I was just like, oh man, that was rough.
All right, I gotta throw my 2 cents on this one. This is seller and user error. This is if someone tells you, if someone packs something and says cut here on it, do not cut here. Things shift during transit. They pack this in a line. You know, it's a $10 card, but they put it in a piece of cardboard and they said cut here on it. And so oh yeah, I'm gonna cut here. It's gonna open the card great. Just cut it right in half.
Oh no.
Terrible.
Just tell CGC it's a factory miscut.
Oh yes,
Yeah.
it works every time.
Yeah. You send that in, I'll send mine in factory bend. See what
Factory, yeah, factory bent
yeah.
roller marks.
Factory spaghetti.
Yeah.
Meat sauce.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I guess speaking of of grades and I guess raw, John, you got, master of none, maybe more appropriate master of everything. Would you rather collect all raw cards or all graded cards from now on?
Damn. I think if I had to choose, gun to my head, all raw.
Nice.
And I love graded. This is not I think my collection probably split probably in the middle somewhere. But sorry, it's the baby. I feel like lately I've been really enjoying like raw cards, and I've been finding with the harsher like PSA grading as of late, especially with like the late 7, 8, 9 certs.
Mhm.
A lot of the you might have to cut this one off, Colin. Sorry. If you can hear, you can pick up Colette. Uh, like some of the 7s and 8s are like pretty damn clean, honestly. And I haven't cross graded just yet, and I haven't graded with CGC since the update, I guess, if you want to call it that. I only graded when they were probably in the lower 3, 6, 3, 7, 3, 8 certs.
Mhm.
Blue label, obviously. I wonder if they would translate better. But at the end of the day, I'm not too big on like making sure that the collection's like 9s or whatever. Especially I'm the opposite of Dan, I guess. I'm more of a vintage whore rather than modern. Yeah, I think raw. There's just something different. I think with raw, I think maybe it's a little bit more nostalgic for me. Just because it kind of when you're a kid. Granted, I think we have a little better best practice now with like keeping cards, in healthier condition. But yeah, I think you can mire the texture in a lot of different ways. You can just do stuff with raw that I don't know. Graded, it's a little bit tough, but either or, man. I don't think there's a wrong way to go. Yeah.
Oh, absolutely not. Just, you have so many of both. I had to know
Yeah. Yeah.
what you were feeling.
Honestly,
I
I've been sorry, one last thing. I actually really liked sealed raw. Like some of the
Sealed.
promos that come, like, and you don't want to take a chance with grading it, but you also don't want to open it. Like sometimes just like leaving in the cellophane kind of feels good, man. And
Oh,
also, you can grade cellophane. You can grade those pre-packed promos too. So that's if you want to get an extra layer of encasing on that. But yeah, I recently lost out on a freaking what was it? It was like a sealed. It was the but not Poncho Pikachu. Freaking A. It was a cosplay Pikachu. I think came out during XY. forgot which one it was.
Ooh.
It was the one because there's like I think 2 or 3 variants of the cosplay Pikachu, but it was still in cellophane. I lost out a bit on that one, but that one still hurts. I still think about it from time to time. But anyway, yeah,
I
that's a
can't
cool
even
thing.
tell you're thinking about it.
Yeah, I think it was Taylor. I think Taylor outbid me on that one, but
I just no. Was it this card? No.
man.
Yeah, but Dan, you like you were gonna say something about that? Are you raw or more slab man?
Well, what one thing I was gonna say is that I actually had I just moved, but in my old apartment, the first like year and change of my collecting, I had temperature issues in my room. I had a radiator, like New York City, we don't have control. Oh, we don't have a thermostat. So my radiator would go to like, I don't even know, like over 100 degrees in the winter. It was insane in my room. And I had all of my raw cards warp like
Oh man.
like this way, and it was so devastating. And I can say now they're like pretty much back to normal, which is great. But I don't know if grading them guarantees that they won't be affected by that, but I feel like it kind of does protect against humidity to some extent. Maybe
I
not
don't think I don't think PSA slabs do, but
really.
some of the others do.
Okay. Well, I just happened to notice that like nothing that I had graded was affected and it was all kept in the same place. But I used to like graded more until I started taking pictures of them. And so
Nice.
now it's like most of the things I pick up are like I do things by season. So it's like, it's springtime. I pick up a bunch of like grass types and floral looking stuff. And it just sucks photographing slabs because you're trying to create like an artistic world. Like I'm trying to make an extension of the card into a piece of art. And it kind of just
Mm.
takes you out of that world when there's like numbers and letters and a barcode in that. So I do love slabs, but I have like I don't even know how many raw cards, like 5 to 600, and I have 9 slabs. So
Oh wow. There you
yeah,
go.
yeah. I want
Yeah.
more. I actually just got a few. So
I will say those that Lunatone and Soul Rock would not have hit nearly as hard in a case.
exactly, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's somewhere it is like when you really want to zoom in on the hollow or whatever, like I really try to
Mhm.
capture that in my pictures, and the ungraded usually you can get a lot better, and you just get right up on there. I like to just
Yeah.
zoom in right on it and just post it like this is the card. So yeah. And yeah, the glare on the cases is hard to not capture. Like it's always there usually. I mean, I like black out my whole room. I'll have like pillows on my back and stuff, like blocking out light and stuff. Like
You ever
people
use a
ask me the
circular polarizer?
process. What?
You ever use a circular polarizer?
No, what is that?
That helps. I have it on right now for my glasses. That's why you can
Oh,
see the reflection.
Oh,
It's
I gotta get
it's
me one of
like
those.
well, I paid like $100 for mine. I'm sure you can get a cheaper one, but it's just basically a filter that you put over your camera or phone, and when you turn it, it cuts down reflections. Like if you've ever seen long exposure photography over a lake where you can like see through the water
yeah.
Oh,
using. So
You're telling me I don't have to strap 3 pillows to my back and lean over
I
the
mean
car?
it helps. It does help.
All right.
it does help.
That does
Oh,
sound awesome though. Yeah.
Circular polarizer. Photography tip of the day.
Cool. Yeah. Thank you.
yeah, that's awesome. Writing that down.
We
Yeah,
need
I
to
need some of
like
those.
Dan's photo starter kit.
My
Like
photography's terrible.
that's crazy.
Oh, whoa, whoa, John, I like that. I feel like the hobby has a lot of like accessories these days, and so I feel like that is not even that's a great idea because people love taking pictures of their cards.
Right? I mean, I definitely try, but like to get to Dan's level, I think you need that's like level up a couple of times, I think. Dan, you need to
If it
drop that.
wasn't my job, I wouldn't have all of this equipment to take pictures of Pokemon cards. It just happens to work out.
Oh, is that your job? Oh, okay. Now I don't feel as
Yeah, I do
okay.
like
Yeah.
I was
video.
like, damn, Dan is like an artiste. He's like on another level. I'm just like,
Yeah.
I see on my iPhone, like, he's got this whole
Yeah, I
like,
mean, like nobody really cares. Like, people bring it up like your pictures look cool, but nobody really cares that much. Like people just want to see their favorite cards or new stuff coming out. And you can get great stuff with an iPhone.
Is your
But
background
lighting matters more.
is your background behind you? Is that considered bokeh? Bokeh?
Okay, yes, correct explanation. Yeah, like if I put my hand here, you can see it go more out of focus.
Damn. Okay. That was intentional then. Okay. Good.
Yeah.
Awesome.
I'm so lost, but is that like a technique?
Yeah, it's just basically like bokeh is a term. I correct me if I'm wrong, but the definition is like out of focus lights that create like a circular effect. Like when you see, sorry, I have an anti-glare thing on my phone, but like the little orbs and stuff, like those are just lights that are closer to the camera than the point of focus, so they get blown out and they look like these little like light orbs.
Oh, nice. Okay. Awesome. Second photography tip of the day. We're just
Seriously.
unraveling Dan's whole process right now.
Yeah, I am here for it.
Yeah, so Cody, are you? I haven't heard from you. Just want to make sure
Yes,
you're
I'm here.
awesome. Awesome.
I'm just trying. I'm just
Yeah.
trying not to interrupt. All these guys have such useful information, and I'm just sitting over here listening to it.
Well, no. Gotta bring you in on this because, I gotta ask, and because we kind of talked about it in that autograph group a little bit. Do you feel like autographs are appropriately priced right now, like on a Pokemon card? And then I suppose for the other three who clearly don't collect autos, I guess
You don't
just
know
buy
that.
it.
You don't know
I
that.
don't know that. I don't know what your collection's
Taylor
like.
could
I'm
be
sorry
sitting
to
on
put
a
that.
whole slew of like picture board auto sig.
Yep.
So what I'll say is that I think some of them are completely ridiculous, the pricing right now. But also, some of them are pretty good. Like, if you are a Harada collector because she pissed off so many people by her refusal to do the Pokemon signings and everything because she doesn't want people to sell them. Which I mean, I get her point that she sees it as her giving a gift, so she doesn't want people to sell them. But you are paying for them, and I wouldn't have any of mine if people didn't sell them. But I think like hers are pretty reasonably priced right now. You can get one of hers with a sketch for around $300. Um, depending on the card, really. But other ones are a little bit on the ridiculous side right now. Like we were talking about in that group with the original art. I think original art's kind of the way to go for a lot of these Pokemon artists right now. If you're a fan of their work and not just Pokemon in general, because that stuff's going pretty cheap. Like I mean, I pick up stuff all the time that for $100, $200 that is worth way more than that because a couple of years ago they were going for $1,000. But I don't really plan on selling that kind of stuff. So for me, it's just kind of what I'm comfortable spending for those things. There's certain cards that are on the market right now, autograph cards that the prices are reasonable, but because the current market, they'll never sell at those prices. And then unless you find someone who just that's the exact card that they were looking for, they never had a chance to go see that artist to get it signed. Then they might pay a bit more of a premium for it. But yeah, the autograph market right now in general, it's been pushed pretty hard by a couple of bigger name people, and has driven up prices quite a bit, unfortunately.
Yeah. I've seen some pretty ridiculous prices. But,
yeah, I mean, like Sugimori stuff. I think that's one of the ones that we kind of touched on the other day. They're like a Sugimori autograph, really, because there is a lot of them out there. There's a ton of them available. There's a whole lot more that haven't been listed for sale that people have because he signed a lot, especially early on. And seeing those go for upwards of between $5,000 to $10,000, that's way too much for a Sugimori. I mean, $2,500 I think is a really great deal on one, and up to about 3,500. But past that, I think you're overpaying if you pay more than that.
oh wow. All right. Yeah, and I guess is there, or I feel like y'all other three a reason you haven't really dipped into autos at all, or just something that's
I'm just having too much fun watching Cody with all of his signatures. So I just
there you go.
live through him, let him post them, and I'm just like, that's pretty sweet.
Yeah,
You know,
very nice.
card vandalism.
Card vandalism. I have
Yeah.
heard that, and I get it. You know, some people really just want a spotless card, and you know, I
Yeah,
understand it.
I had a guy message me a while back, and I'd never talked to me before on there ever. And that was his message that he sent to me. He had like sent a screenshot of one of my cards I posted. There was an autograph, and he said, "This looks like card vandalism." And he had like 3 question marks. I'm like, okay, this is. I know where you're going onto the block list there.
Dude, you got a
Yeah.
long block list. I don't know what is up
Oh,
with people just messaging
dude.
you weird out of pocket things.
I know, all the time. My block list. I should take a picture of my block list and show it to you. It is
Oh my
probably two, or
gosh.
it's probably between 200 to 300 people.
Really?
Oh yeah, yes, yes. I block people every single day, every day.
Oh my gosh. Who's leaking this man's info? Why is he getting so many?
I know, and it's always like these. It's always accounts that aren't like Pokemon accounts by any means. Like they're just like it'll be like some random guy, and it'll say have a picture of him, and it'll say the name will be John498 or whatever, and then they'll message me about hey, you want to buy my collection? Hey, do you want to buy this? But having never interacted with me, they don't follow me, so it's like there's no reason for me not to block them.
Oh
Hey,
yeah.
Cody, I apologize for that, man. All right, you didn't have to block me.
Like every new account I make, Cody blocks me. You can't even.
Taylor at the gym 1,
Yep.
block. Taylor at the gym 2, block.
That's right. That's right.
Oh man.
I'm honestly surprised, like that Taylor doesn't have more fake accounts out there of him, because he's like a pretty prominent poster, and those kind of guys typically. I think maybe it's because he doesn't do giveaways. But I know when I did a couple giveaways, both times that I did it, there was fake accounts like almost immediately.
Wow.
And
That's
I thought that was pretty odd, especially because at the time, I mean, I probably only had like 300 followers at the time. And so, yeah, for someone to go through the trouble of making a fake account for that was kind of odd.
Yeah.
He's the only one who loves that stuff.
Who?
Like, I want more obnoxious, spammy
Oh,
comments.
you want that stuff.
It's so much fun when someone's like, someone gave me shit because like I posted a video of like me holding a card and I went like this, and someone made an obnoxious comment about how I got fingerprints on it.
Oh
And
no!
I got right back on him, and
Arrest
I
me.
posted the story of his comment, and he immediately took it down and like went back into hiding. But I don't know. Maybe if it was in more numbers, that would bother me. But
That's that New York
Yeah.
energy for you. Dan wants all the smoke.
Yeah.
yeah.
That internet anonymity, you don't know where I live. Like,
Yeah. That internet anonymity is why people are saying things like, "Oh, you got a
Exactly.
smudge on your card," and all that jazz. So, oh
Yeah.
man,
Dude, I'll say I get way more weird messages on eBay than I do Instagram, though.
really?
Like Instagram is
Yeah.
usually like you already know it's a spam account almost, or it's like, do you want to buy 5,000 of these or whatever? I don't even know what it is, but like I'll get those, and most of the time they just go to the spam like folder or whatever that Instagram did. But the eBay ones are like the real wild ones where people will come at me for like destroying markets and like just like the weirdest things that I don't, some of them I'm not even sure what they're talking about, but it's pretty funny most of the time where I'm just like, this is wild.
Yeah, just from someone who's like so into grading and selling, I was
Yeah.
wondering what you thought about the Scarlet and Violet illustration mirrors, because so many of them are fucked up. Like the majority that I pull are covered in like this checkerboard crazy print line issue. And like some of them have edge wear, but even the ones that don't are like have like a minimum of 3 or 4 print lines. So I'm assuming that's going to make the value of 10s go up for like the more popular ones.
Yeah, and are you referring to like English or
Yeah.
Japanese or both?
I don't have many Japanese, so it's hard to say. I'm assuming, like always, Japanese is just better, but yeah, I mostly just rip English packs and I get the illustration rares and I love those cards. They're like the only reason that it's worth it to rip modern packs for me is because you get them frequently and they're so nice. But like 9 times out of 10, they're messed up with print lines.
Okay, yeah, because like I don't have as like a lot of, if almost any experience with English cards, but just
Okay.
from like other collectors, I do see them post about it. And yeah, the Japanese print quality is really good, but even on the new ones, there are some cards that will have like a print line here or there. For the most part, I haven't ran into like issues grading them though. Like for the most part, it's like super subtle where you almost can't even see the print line.
Hmm.
So like for you in your case, like when you say it's there, like is it like pretty evident or like a
I mean, let me let me look for one. It's terrible. And
oh
it's
okay.
unfortunately it's like with 151, which is everyone's favorite set from this generation. It's Scarlet and Violet base, Paldea Evolved, I think Paldean Fates, and it got a little better recently, but then also 151. So like those four sets, it's almost guaranteed that if you get an illustration rare, there's this crazy, very
Uh,
prominent, like full on tic-tac-toe checkerboard.
oh man, yeah, okay. That sounds a
Uh,
little more severe, yeah, than like the Japanese.
I'm trying to find one. Paradox Rift and Twilight Masquerade, I've noticed has been better.
Okay, nice. Yeah, hopefully they're
And Emerald
addressing it.
Fortress. But it's just brutal. Yeah, sorry, I know we're recording. Let me just try to find one.
Yeah.
Let's go into my. You can talk about something else if you want. Just go into my archive. I got a Pelican case on the
Oh,
counter.
nice.
What the heck? Oh, I
Uh,
thought that was a regular suitcase, and I was like,
no,
he's got the
yeah,
suitcase of
Pelican
cards.
with like hundreds of cards.
Nice.
Um,
Yeah, it looks really nice.
it's a camera thing.
It's a camera thing.
Traditionally, unless you just shove 300 cards in there. So like I think this Grievard from what is it, Scarlet and Violet base. I don't know if you're gonna be able to see it through the camera. Here, let me zoom out.
I was
Mhm.
about to say, I'm zooming myself, getting real close.
Uh, hold on, I'll tap the focuser. No, yeah, I can't really see it on the camera.
It's hard to
Ah,
see.
can't. I think I see it like at the top, like outside of the hollow, but I don't think I see it on the hollow. And I'm sure
It's
that just
really,
cuts
yeah,
right
it's
down
not
through the
coming up
hollow.
on camera, but it's really bad in person. It's going all the way down here, and then there's another one across, and there's another one going down. Oh, you sorry, I'm still
Dang.
zooming.
Zoom.
I'm looking at like, yeah, like three or four. The entire thing is basically ruined.
Oh
Yeah,
yeah.
it's not going to get it on camera, but I've
The
made
regular
video.
illustration rares, they just pumped those out. They had no quality control on those on the English side. I think Pokemon got their printers up and running, and they said, "Let's see how fast we can make these things go."
It's such a shame because like I said, like that's the only reason I started ripping packs again. Like when we were still at the end of Sword and Shield, I was just like, I only want alt arts, and the odds of getting that out of a pack are so low. It makes absolutely no sense to rip the packs. And then the trainer gallery sets started coming out, and I was like, okay, it makes a little more sense. But they're like $1 to $3. I could still just pick those up. But then with these, it was like, okay, now I actually kind of do want to rip packs again because there's just so many and they're all so great. But like I said, it's just 9 times out of 10, they're completely fucked up.
Dang. Yeah, because I have a like one of the newest ones, maybe like the Eevee like
Yeah.
altar or whatever with the bunch of Eevees on it. But I haven't, and these are just the Japanese ones. But I mean, I had like 7 or 8 copies of those, and I don't think any of them had print lines.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it's actually pretty rare. Like I've only had a couple of them come through out of like 50 of the newer ones that I've noticed any print lines on
In Japanese or English?
in Japanese. Yeah.
Oh, okay. Well, that makes sense.
So I guess yeah, like that's the most I can really say on it is just like the comparison of like the Japanese has them, but it seems like it's a lot less common than the English prints then.
Yeah, it's forgivable if like 1 out of 10 has it. It's like, okay, mistakes
Yeah.
happen. But
Yeah.
like 10 out of 10 is so unacceptable for a
Oh yeah.
company that makes so much money, and we just give it all to them,
Yeah.
and they
Yeah.
know like that's what it is. They know we're going to give them our money no matter what it looks like. So it's
Yeah.
unfortunate. But my big point being just with bringing this up is that I think the tens are going to be huge price difference.
Oh
Yeah.
man,
It goes on.
I think that the tens. I think, my honest opinion, the tens for modern cards are going to be next to worthless in a few years. Not,
Really,
yeah. I just think so. I think
I hope
there's
so.
so many. Like I could go to Target right now and probably leave if I wanted to with 200 packs of Twilight Masquerade and leave like half the shelf stocked. And so it's just so prevalent right now, and so many people are grading right now that, in my opinion, cards like the Greavard, I suppose. I don't think cards that are like really popular Pokemon ever take too big of a hit. Like but I think cards like Greavard or like maybe like stuff like that, they'll be like $10, $15 PSA 10s. Like maybe the
That's
Magikarp. I think the Magikarp's going to be like $150 max at one point,
crazy right
because
now.
it's crazy with a 25% gem rate, which is not really that bad.
Yeah,
It's 25% is not that bad. I could go on TCG Player. I could have for a time gone to TCG Player, bought 6 Magikarps for less than a PSA 10, graded them for still less than a PSA 10, got one PSA 10 back, sold that, sold all the nines and made ridiculous money. Like it's just not how it should work. And I feel like that'll kind of catch up with the market eventually.
it's so funny how everyone decides like this one. We're gonna pump this one.
I know the freaking Magikarp.
I mean, I think it's a beautiful card. I do think
It
it's
is.
in the top 5 regular illustration rares of this generation. But I saw on Instagram like yesterday or something, I saw a comparison. It was like the same card in Japanese, PSA 10, is like $50, but the English Magikarp is like 500 or something crazy.
Oh
Mhm.
dang, yeah.
Like really wild difference.
Yeah.
And I kind of just not, I mean, a lot of it has to do with the market and the fact that people just deliberately decide to buy them all out. But I also think it has to do with the print quality. Like if it, I mean, I guess if you said it's 25% gem mint
I mean,
hit rate, that's not that low.
that's not that low, but that's also, I will say, that is a print quality issue, because the Umbreon's also like 90% gem rate. So it's definitely a print quality issue, and to some extent. But I just think the prevalence is going to outweigh that at some point, I guess, at the end of the day. But
Mm.
printing is
Yeah.
terrible.
Yeah, I think I can see both points where it's like some of those cards, if it ends up being almost like I'm thinking of like the Masaki Gengar, somewhere it's like almost impossible to get one without print lines and hit a 10. I could see that potentially if it's like the right Pokemon and like the art and stuff too. I think that plays a big part in it. Like,
For sure.
uh, yeah, then I could see it definitely being worth like a lot in the future because people are going to catch on to that and be like, oh, this is a card I want, but it's like impossible to grade it. And then, yeah, then there is also some of those that in 10 years might be like pop 20,000 or whatever. And it's like, it all depends then, yeah, if it's going to be like something very like sought after. Because I think there's some Charizards and stuff that are like way up there in pop and people just want them. So they keep the market just stays high for them,
Yeah.
but
Yeah.
yeah. Then there's some of those other cards that, I've owned and sold over the years and it just up, down, and it just constantly does that. Like some cards, it almost seems like they never hit like a nice point. They're just constantly going up and down. So
Oh
Thing.
wow.
Because like I pay attention to this stuff on an interest level, but I don't really sell. I'm kind of in my hoarding phase.
nice.
So it's interesting to hear it from someone who's like constantly, involved in selling stuff and I'm curious where things are going to go, but
Yeah.
I don't want to deal with that right now. Like, I want to just hoard and hoard for years and years. And maybe when I'm 50, I'll be like, you know what? I don't really care about this stuff as much anymore. I want to buy a house, and I'll go to like I'll go to a convention, and I'll be like, look, I have a $20,000 collection. Give me 18, and you can have it. Just take it all.
Nice. Yeah.
There's a down.
18. Those convention boys are gonna tear you apart. Give them
Yeah, no, I
15.
know.
They're gonna get you down to 15.
Yeah. I don't, something else that I like. I don't expect you to explain how this works right now in this conversation, but I don't understand how it works with the buying and selling it. Like, it's worth this, but I'll give you 60% or 70%. Like, how does anyone make money on that?
Oh, yeah.
You see so many videos of people like at conventions, and it's like, here's $1,000 card, and the guy's like, I'll give you 650 for it. He's like 675, and you got a deal. So it's like, where is there such a thing as someone who is willing to just pay what it's worth, or is it all just like percentages, so nothing's actually worth what it's listed as?
In my experience, I've had a lot of, so some of those like convention sellers and stuff will hit me up, and they'll, I don't do like 60% or anything like that. Like that, yeah, that's pretty wild, but um I will give them like quite a bit off if they are buying like a ton at once.
Okay.
Also, they're like, I need inventory. I want to buy 40 cards, and some of them are like, some high value. Then I'll definitely be like, all right, I'm happy to like work something out, because I just think of my time, and how much effort, and also eBay fees, all of that stuff that's going to go into it at the end of the day after I sell 40 cards. And so if they're going to take all of those at once, then I'll be like, okay, yeah, let's figure something out. I don't know, 65. I don't know if I've done like that
Yeah,
with
I'm just pulling numbers out of
people,
my ass.
but
I don't really know about that, but
I think for me it comes down to like how much they're buying or whatever, where I can be like, okay, I can justify like a better deal. And it's kind of cool because then it's like, it's nice to know that those cards are going off to the convention and going to other collectors, and not that that really needs to play a part in it, but yeah, but if it's just for like one card, and I get it a lot where people are almost like 50%ing, sometimes. And I'm like, I wish I could, but I can't do that. Like,
yeah.
it'd be nice, yeah, if we could all do that, but that's just not how it is. So, you know, I mean, I'll give a good deal when I can. And also if it's like, maybe I won it for a really good price and it got a 10, and I'll go under market value or whatever, because it's like, they're getting a good deal, especially for people I'm like a little closer to. I don't want to be like biased, but it's like I know that it's going to be a good deal and going to a good home and collection. So it's like give a little better deal, and then make a little money, and they pay a little less than like what they could get it for somewhere else. So,
Mm-hmm.
but
Yeah.
there's no, what were you gonna say?
Oh no, sorry, no, that just makes sense. That's a good explanation. I guess with grading, there's like higher margins, but I've
Yeah.
like I've never sold to card shops, but I've inquired a couple of times, and they're just ridiculous. Like, and I know you're not a card shop, you're an individual person, so it's not exactly the same, but like, I guess that's where I got 65 from. Like, if you ask card shops, at least where I live, to buy stuff, it's like ridiculous.
Oh, yeah, the card shops for sure. Yeah, they'll, if 65 is like their top.
Yeah.
They'll give you half of what it's worth, and then they'll sell it for 25% more than what it's supposed to be.
Yeah.
So it's insane.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, I think a lot of it does come down to a lot of what Taylor was saying. Like sometimes you can just get really, I guess, lucky and also source things for like incredibly under market. So if someone comes up to me, or if someone came up to me and I had just like got something for 30% market just by happenstance, and they were like, hey, I'm gonna clear you out for 60, I'd be like, no eBay fees, no listing, no pictures, take it.
That's true.
Like probably
Yes.
not 60, but if they were like, but if, like Taylor said, it just comes down to, I feel like, a little bit of meat on both ends. If it can come down to that, I think it's definitely uh easy enough to come to a pretty low market deal or below market deal.
Okay.
Yeah, totally. And I like negotiating. Like I don't know. I
Okay.
grew up, my dad was like a hot rodder, so I was always like he made me like wheel and deal on like old cars and stuff.
Oh wow.
And so I have fun. Not that everyone does. I definitely have people who will literally just like not buy a card because I keep negotiating. I'm like, I'm not trying to be like, like that. It's just actually fun. And most people are really cool about it. So, but yeah, maybe they start at 60 and then it's like, okay, well, then I'm at 95. And eventually we meet in the middle somewhere. That's
Yeah.
usually fun. But yeah,
Nice.
it's all about like how people go about it. I know some people will just be like, that's my offer, take it or leave it. And you're like, all right, yeah, I respect that. That's fine.
Hmm.
Yeah, there's a lot of video stuff like that on Instagram that I watch. I dabble in the deal stuff. I've never really gone to a convention or anything though, so you
Nice.
can't.
Yeah. I haven't either. I'd like to, but yeah, it's just a lot of like travel expenses and stuff. And then trying to line it up with life sometimes is almost impossible, I feel like. So,
Hmm.
I
Yeah,
want to
that's
go to Card Party. It's in New Jersey pretty soon, which is like kind of close to me. I think like an hour and a half ish, but I can't trust myself at one of those things.
just leave
I'm
your
gonna
wallet at home.
no savings account.
Leave
yeah.
your wallet at home. Come in with some cards that you want to trade.
That
That's
doesn't work anymore because of Apple Pay.
oh
Uh,
my gosh.
So now I thought myself out of that one. Like if you leave your wallet at home, it's on your phone.
It's on my
yeah.
phone.
Blur out the part where I showed my credit card.
Can't do it. Showing it to the world. No, I'm
Yeah,
kidding.
my
But
saving piece of it.
yeah, I mean, just gonna, we've been talking for a while, down to our last two. Just gonna finish it up here. What do you guys think? What is something y'all would like to see from Pokemon cards specifically moving forward?
It's a good
Man.
question.
Yeah, that is a really good question.
I mean, we started talking about the leaks of the new Team Rocket set. Like that's definitely the most exciting thing I've heard in a long time.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Assuming they don't fuck it up.
Well, yeah,
right.
I actually wrote this question yesterday, and then I saw this leak today, and I was like, "Damn, that's what I want. That's what I want
Now
moving
you
forward."
can
Dark
clip this,
Pokemon.
and when it comes out, you can post this clip of us talking
Yeah,
about how it sounds exciting.
unless it's
Yeah,
terrible when it comes out.
Yeah.
right.
I doubt it'll be terrible. Like I could see it being a 50-50. New Pokemon, old throwback kind of thing. I'm
Hmm.
sure they'd all rather just be a full-on throwback early gen stuff.
Yeah, I will say they are constantly surprising me with like new releases and stuff with even like things that I wouldn't even like imagine. I'm like, oh, that's actually pretty cool. Over the years, like just how they have done like the secret art rares and then they all have like a little bit of a different hollow and stuff and like just like little touches sometimes, that Pokemon does where you're just like, dang, yeah, that was pretty genius. That was cool.
Oh yeah.
Maybe new rarity tiers, kind of how we had a shift from like alt arts were technically like what secret rares to special illustration rares, and they look really different. So maybe they're planning some kind of like new rarity tier that we don't know about yet. And
Yeah.
I would love to see some like good item cards. I don't play the game, so when you get like a booster box and your hit is like the gold watch, it's like super disappointing. So I feel
Gold
like
Watch.
all if there could be like or like a sock, but if there could be like item alternate arts, that would be pretty sweet.
Yeah.
Ooh,
Like
that would
Crown
be really
Zenith, I
cool.
kind of call Crown Zenith trainer alternate arts, even though no one else calls them that. That
Yeah.
was kind of a shift for me because you had full art trainers forever, and it was kind of just like the character with a background. And then you went to Crown. Now you go to Crown Zenith, and they're like it's hand drawn, and they're in a scene in their environment. So to me, I was calling those trainer alt arts. So maybe there could be item alt arts, or just some kind of way to get rid of these like what are supposed to be really big hits, but are actually super disappointing.
Yeah. I mean, because I almost think, and I don't know, it sounds like English is harder to get some of the big hits. But like if they did have almost like the Shining, like Neo 3 era and like the and
Mm.
Neo 4. because I feel like people said you could open up like 1 to 2 full boxes and still never pull one of those cards. And
When you say Neo 3 and 4, what English sets are those? Like Destiny and
yeah,
Revelation?
yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
Okay.
Just like I don't know, there's something about the like chase of it for me with that where I think that'd be fun if there is like an actual rare card that's like extremely hard to actually pull in the set, you know? Because I feel like nowadays, just with the printing and everything, I don't know if that's like doable even because they print so much more. Uh, I think of like the boxes and stuff, you know, compared to maybe in the back in the day, but there's something about I think that's what made like the Shining Magikarp, the Shining Gyarados, Shining Mewtwo, cards like that much more special that it was like not only the art and holo were like unique to those cards in the set, but they were also extremely hard to pull. Like multiple boxes, you aren't even seeing one.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
I think we
Yeah.
already like just because I'm realizing like you don't really participate in English stuff, and I pretty much only do. We've already kind of seen a major change in Scarlet and Violet stuff. So like,
Okay.
the first, I want to say like 3 sets, you were guaranteed in a booster box 2 big hits. So you could either get 2 SIRs, 2 gold, or 1 of each in a box. And that, as you can predict, like that just made all the big chase cards like $10, $20. So the value is gone. But now, if you look at like Twilight Masquerade and Temporal Forces, the SIRs are like going way up in price because people are ripping like full cases of 6 boxes and still not pulling like the Greninja or what was it, the Iron Crown from the last one. And like
Oh yeah.
the SIRs from Temporal Forces have already in like 2 months seen like a blow up from the set being released, coming down because it's getting older, and now they're coming up again because people are ripping it and seeing how hard it is to pull.
Oh
Oh,
The
wow.
same as like vintage Neo, obviously. That's still a different situation. But yeah, I just wanted to contribute that to it. Like Greninja from Twilight Masquerade is like $160 right now.
dang, nice.
And,
Well, it's cool to hear. Yeah.
Oh
and it's
yeah.
not just because it just came out. It's like the difficulty to pull is factored.
Yeah. It's actually tough to pull those. I like that.
Yeah, one of my friends really wants that one right now, and he's like going a little crazy over it.
The
Dude,
Greninja.
Yeah,
it's a crazy art.
it's cool. I think it's the best Terra card we've seen.
It's as good as Terra gets, yeah, for sure.
This same guy, I picked him up. You know how Best Buy does the promos, the sealed promos on release day? So I
Yeah.
was getting my friend who was like new to collecting. I got him his own Best Buy Sinistra promo, and you have to buy something in order to do it. So I got him. There was a discount Obsidian Flames pack for $3, and he doesn't really know the sets. And I'm sitting like right here, and he's on my bed ripping packs, and I hear him go, "Oh, this Charizard is cool." And I turn over, and it's the SIR. It's the #1 chase from the set at a
Nice.
$3 pack. But that
Incredible.
is one of the easy sets where if you got a booster box, you're guaranteed 2 big hits.
Okay.
So
Hmm.
yeah, it's interesting.
Yeah.
I
No,
want
it
to
is.
hear more about Japanese now.
Well, it's cool. It's cool that we get to like talk about it because yeah, I barely know anything about English collecting and stuff. So I've learned a lot today from that. And then yeah, like it sounds like you picked up on some like cool Japanese stuff. So that's really fun.
Yeah, for sure.
Oh yeah.
Do you speak Japanese or read it?
Only a little bit. I've been learning Japanese, mostly how to speak it for like almost 2 years now.
That's
So I'm getting to like a conversational level, but reading it has proven to be pretty difficult for me still. Like I can pick out characters and stuff. But yeah, I mean I couldn't go to Japan and like read you signs and stuff yet. Like
okay.
maybe some, but it'd be pretty tough still.
Mhm.
Gotcha.
So it's a work in progress.
Yeah, I was just wondering if you could read the cards that you buy and stuff.
No, not most of them yet. Only
Okay.
a very few. Like
Oh,
Mew. Mew I can
we're about
understand.
all right. Okay,
But
that makes
those
sense.
are pretty easy though.
Yeah. Well, yeah, I think the higher rarity is definitely a good call. I think the bigger chase. I'm glad that I haven't opened much of any of the new sets besides honestly Temporal Forces ripping shit from Dan, but uh yeah, I like the higher rarity honestly. I mean, not great for kids, but kids like all the cards, honestly. So
Exactly, yeah.
Yeah, I had like 40 Diglets like back in the day, and I thought they were sweet. So
oh yeah. But yeah, I appreciate y'all for sticking around. Shout out to everyone else who was on here. Shout out John and Cody. Thank y'all. And yeah, thank you for making your second appearance and having a great conversation. I'm glad we got to make this happen.
Yeah, for
yeah,
sure. Thanks for
yeah,
having me.
thank you for having me, and it was awesome. I'm down anytime. Always fun to
Yeah,
talk about this stuff.
for sure.
Yeah.
Get
Oh,
Rob
yeah,
on
this was
too.
great. It was fun getting everyone together. Squawking like seagulls, as they say.
Heck yeah.
But yeah, we've been going for like an hour and a half now, so thank you all again, and I'm gonna let you all go. Peace out,
Sounds
y'all.
Good. We'll see you
Thank you
later,
guys.
guys.
Take care.
Take it easy.
We'll see you.